Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. There's no need to rush today. I hope you guys have time. We can take our time and go today because, market is not moving. Nothing is happening. It's holiday in the US and we can all go very slowly, right? So, before I start, two things I want to ask. One is that you share. Those who will be looking at a recording of this, please help share the video I did on Sunday. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter. You will find it, and please retweet it, please share it, please click like and let it go, right? Get it to as many people as possible. We need that one to go. Secondly, for those who are interested in the course, I think most of you are in the room. I'm still waiting in the bank, and I send them an email today. I give them very, very concrete thing. Give me an answer, yes or no, by tomorrow. If they must give me an answer by tomorrow, whether it's a yes or no, I don't care. If it's a yes, okay, tell me when it's going to happen so I can fix it. If it's a no, I will be flying by Tuesday. By Wednesday, I'll be flying to Dubai, and I'll try to get it arranged with another bank. Because I don't see the problem why they are doing this. It's just crazy to me. And I told them that my last word was just ridiculous. So give me an answer. It's in Dubai, yes, it's in Dubai. So I'll be there and I'll make it happen. There is no problem in opening the account. I don't know, I have no idea why they're doing it. So that's just for you, right? So don't be worried. I'll still do the course, even if I have to postpone it a little later. I'll still do it. We'll have enough time, and it's only 1 hour a day, so you will be able to fix it in your schedule. Don't worry. Okay, so let's go. Dollar index. Dollar index consolidated as we expected. Remember when this went up, I said, be careful, they will make that pullback. They made the pullback. They made a very deep pullback. But the thing about this is we don't know whether that pullback is over. You notice they're making like a flag here. And if they break this flag, take this trade up. When this trade comes to about this level, put it to break even. They could still make one more down and then go back up, making a pattern like this. If not, they'll take off and you're in a good trade. If they do that, you get a break-even trade. You wait for them to come here and we repeat the process from here going up. Don't look for the sell setup. The sell setup is not a good one. You might end up in trouble. So on the euro, you're not looking for the buys, although there are smaller buys in the euro. I think you can watch this. Euro could crawl its way up like this. And if it does that, we'll look for the downside. If it breaks this structure, and they're likely they can break, if they break this, today might not happen tomorrow, take this sell, and when it breaks this low, put that to break even. There is a possibility they can go back up like this, retag this stop, and then start to fall. This structure will still go down. It's still looking downside, and it looks like they will break the trend line this time. If you look at it in the higher time frame, it's more like a consolidation in here happening right now, right? It's like they're consolidating in here, and then they're going to drop this. So right now, we're looking for sells in the euro. The first sell is if they break this, we will take this sell, put that to break even. And if they go back up, I would look for a sell from somewhere here to the downside, right? So once we get a setup based on the strategy we trade, we will take the trade. We're looking for a sell. I'm not looking for a buy. Short-term 15 minutes, yes, they can go back, right? I think you can even see that. There's a 15-minute trade here possible. This trade could even get to the top here. But I'm not quite interested in that. Some of you may still want to give it a risk. It's up to you. I don't trade those short-term trades. Not that I don't see it or I don't go for them. I go for the longer-term trade. And for me, the longer-term trade looks downside right now. So you can take this if you want. Remember, market is closed. This may just do that and come back here and do that. And then if it breaks, you will take a loss, right? So I would not go for the trade. I'm looking for the bigger trade to the downside. Let's see how that plays out. Pong is already in the consolidation. Pong made that big move down. Remember, we said if you're not in this trade, or if you're in the trade, you want to exit the trade. I did exactly that. I was in the trade from here, actually. And from here, from here, sorry, those two. And I took one more from there, but I closed all the trades here, right? Once they made that spike and broke this structure here where I closed the trade, wait for a bigger pullback. Some of our traders traded this. You get this one. You could have traded that one if you want. Now you don't trade the upside. This still possible could make one more up here, but you don't trade the upside because I would wait for confirmation of a bigger trade to the upside. Right now, I think this is just pulling back here to go down. So I'll be looking for the downside of the trade. I'll be waiting for this to break here. And if you go in the bigger picture, you'll probably see. Remember, we're showing you. Let's go back a little in history since we're here. I was saying, watch this pattern, it's going to break down. And some of my traders even got it from the top there. So this broke down. This is not an uptrend as yet. This is just correcting for one more down. So you want to get this one more down. Don't focus on the bias yet. If the structure changed to buy, I would let you know. I hope that happens. If that happens, it's still next week, right? But I don't see that happening right now. I see the structure coming back down, right? So wherever, if they make that one more spike, we would be looking for a sell setup. And this would be an amazing trade. I can tell you that one was amazing. This one would be amazing. So we're starting to look for a sell setup. Now, potentially, I don't want to give you too much hopes on this, but we did yesterday after the webinar I did a webinar with my traders on the higher time frame, weekly and daily. And this thing has potential to make a really big move to the downside. Not that this move will go. We don't have that confirmation as yet. It is possible, but I will not call that as yet. I could do that in my room because they understand what structure we would look for to negate that call. But in an open webinar, I guess people will go crazy if you do that, right? So what I'm saying is, let's go one step at a time. We're looking for one more down move. And if that confirms what we're looking for, it might be a bigger move to the downside. Same with Euro, by the way. So keep your eyes on it. Aussie, we're looking for a sell. I think this is easy. Right? Can the Aussie go up one more? I think it will go up one more, right? It's very likely the Aussie will go break this top, because if they don't break that top and they start to fall, I would have to put my trade at break even when they break that low. And there's a possibility they could still make one more up and then come back, right? That is how structure behaves. Now, in some cases, there's a good chance they're going to go. I'm in the sell. I'll be looking for sell setups, right? I'm Aussie sell, which means I'm looking for Aussie to come back here, and most likely even possible to the daily trend line. Let me put back that daily trend line. And here is the same thing like the Euro and the Pound. Aussie has the potential to already break down and make it a bigger move to the downside, which means come back and retest this low. We're not making that call as yet, because potentially Aussie can do this. One here, go back up like that, complete this, break this top, complete a structure that we're looking for as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure, and then come down. It doesn't have to be a 5-wave structure. It could also be a 3-wave structure and come down here, right? There's a good chance it could be a 3-wave structure. There are enough reasons for us to think one more wave is possible up, so we will trade this down move, and all of you should look for a trade to the down move here. And we will watch how this structure develops to decide, is it going to continue or are they going to go back up, right? At that point, when we are in that move and it started to develop, we will see how that is going. So that's like next week or the week after, we'll be able to tell you which direction we think it's going to go. But right now, look for your sell setup. I think it's pretty clear, right? Even if this thing goes up a little more, I'm still looking for a sell setup. So potentially I can see this one making one more up, but we're looking for sell. So if you get this up today or tomorrow, short term, you can take the trade. It's very short term trade. You get in, you get 20, 30, 40 pips, get out, and that's it. But the longer term trade is to the downside, right? New Zealand is already going down. There's no question about that. I think New Zealand is trying to get back. I'm expecting New Zealand to make a little more up here too. If you look at these patterns we're looking for, you can see New Zealand has a similar pattern, down, down. I could see them coming back here and then down. So will they make that move? Not necessarily, but I always think they can. If you remember this, remember we watched that, they spiked up and they come. I think we're looking at a similar move here. Spiked up there and then come down, right? If this goes from here, the trade might not be a very good trade. It might be very short. Now they can break through this pattern. Only when they break through that pattern, then I'll convince that it's a longer term downtrend. But New Zealand is coming down, which means this is your first wave to the downside. So at some point, this thing needs to correct. And I think if they make this 1, 2, or if they just drop a little here, they're going to start a correction up. That is going to make the next big move down. Not a very big correction, maybe a little smaller correction than that. But if they make a wave down, and you can see this, for example, they make a correction and then drop again. So we make a wave down, we're looking for that correction before they drop again. right? So correction in the New Zealand is coming, not necessarily in the rest of them. And you can see the possibility for that correction by the pattern you're making. So the sell in the New Zealand, I would like to get it from the top, or I'd like the New Zealand to go back there and give me a good sell for this one. Where it is right there might not be the best sell. Better to sell the euro if it breaks, or sell, I don't know, maybe the pound if it breaks, but not the New Zealand. The New Zealand might not be the best one. Yen is amazing. And, you know, our traders are enjoying trading this, right? So it goes back, come back here. I think there is a possibility for a little more. Remember, we said watch 1, 2, 3. Well, the question we're getting in the room now, there are traders who are shorting yen from the top, and they want this to go down. They want it to be running flat and let this be down. Personally, I don't mind where it goes, but I would like them to come back here and then go down, because that would give me a good selling opportunity. I'm not in the sell, and I don't see a good selling opportunity right now. For me, the lower it goes, the better it is, because I will buy it again. I made money twice in that little piece, and I'll buy it again. Remember that guy who was saying, hey, let him tell you how he could reuse that stop loss, recycle that stop loss? Well, I did on this one. That is why he's not telling you anything anymore. You shut up, because we recycled this stop loss more than once. And we're looking for this to come here, and then we'll be buying again. Once they get into this area here, first we would look for sell setups, but we would be buying again to the upside. That would complete the three-wave structure we're looking at. And if you were following me, you would remember this move up, you'd remember that move down, you'd remember this move up, you'd remember this move down. We're trading them all, because this was easy. This is easy. This one is very easy to deal with. It's not difficult. You have one impulse up, you have 1, you have 2, you're looking for 3, and then we'll be looking for that wave up. This is already forecasts made way before. So you can see how we make forecasts. We don't just make forecasts like, hey, it's going up and down like the guy said. We literally follow these charts, and we decide where this thing should start turning, why it should start turning, what structure we're looking for. And sometimes they just follow the arrows. Don't just trust me on this one. Go look back at the charts I posted on TradingView. I post thousands of charts there. Go back to the ones that are year old, 2 years old, and you will see. They literally sometimes follow the arrows, especially longer term trades. They follow the arrows because you know how pattern behaves. And once we know how pattern behaves, unless there's a change of the structure, right? Then we do that. Short-term sell, yes, there's a short-term sell if you get the setup, because like remember I said there's a very good chance that they might want to, not necessarily going to, but they might want to spike this up here first and then come back. So I would like them to do that. Most of my traders don't want that to happen. They want it to come down here. So we'd look for a sell setup. There isn't a sell setup right now. If you go into 1 hour, there isn't anything to sell there. See? Look, this is what a 1 hour structure looks like. You don't sell in structures like that. If you understand anything about structure, that's not a sell. Yep, the recording will be available, right? All the links will be on YouTube. Everybody knows where my YouTube channel is, right? I hope so. So go there and make sure you're sharing those links, at least the one video I did on Sunday. So watch this. I do think they can make one more up. Maybe you can get a buy somewhere like this. If they break here, look for this buy, and then you'd look for the sell. This would be short-lived, right? It wouldn't be very much of a big buy. CAD dropped beyond the low. We saw the possibility of CAD going up this morning, but I'm not in the mood to trade CAD to the upside. We'll allow it to do this and then look for a sell. Now, let me just show you the CAD. The reason we think it could go up is that because there's a good chance CAD might not only come here, it could come to this level and then go down. Remember, we're looking for 1, 2, and we thought this was going to make the 3. Well, that did not happen. So there's a good chance that you could get 1, 2, 3 here, right? This piece here could be a corrective structure in an expanding flat. So this could go back up. And if that happens, it's going to be a very nice buy, except you don't have a setup for that right now. You have to wait for that setup to come, right? Short-term buys, I don't like. If they break this at any point, sell. If it doesn't go back up, right, but they break here at any point, or break here at any point, or break there at any point, sell it. Right? Don't think twice about it, just sell it. Right? CAD did not follow the prediction. Oh, you mean this piece here? Well, you see that is where strategy comes. I could see your point, Asim, and that is where that is where understanding risk and strategy comes in. The predictions, even if they don't go well, I think you should look at the video I did yesterday, because that video is for you. If the predictions don't go the way we expect, there are two things that happen. One is we are not in the trade, or the second one, if we're in the trade, we get out for break even. If you were in this buy, and I think that was a great buy, if you were in that buy there, and you take a loss on that trade, you got to learn to trade again. Go get another strategy, because that's not a good strategy. You were saying your strategy should get you out of this trade for profit right here. Okay, break even, I'll go with that. Break even is not a problem. Break even is good. When you were wrong about it, and here's the thing, here's what the market just told you. You were wrong about your assumption of what it's going to do. But guess what? You managed to get out for break even. You did not lose money. You know how many people would be happy, how many traders in the world would be happy to get back their money when they were wrong about something? Go ask anybody. If I was wrong, and when I'm wrong, I just get break even, and when I'm right, I make money. That's the best thing that could happen to any trader. That is amazing. You got to call yourself, good. I love that. When I'm wrong, I get break even. I'm pretty happy about it. Right? Most traders will take loss when they're wrong. If you can take break even, that's great. So watch this. If you're talking about this one, that one also, if you give back on that one, no, you shouldn't give back on that one. If you got in this trade here, that is some 1.2625, 26. Where would that be? I don't see. You're talking about buying from here. If you bought from here, that's a bad buy. But if you bought from there and you give back, you should get out of the trade right here. Right? Anyway, we're not talking about strategy here. So that has to do with strategy. So if you're doing that, it means your problem is your strategy, not the thing. Because sometimes if the pattern change in the forecast, we're out of the trade. You will take some losses, but most of the time, if you use a good strategy in this buy, break even or at least some profit. So same thing here. If this goes up and we get the buy, the reason I'm not buying now, because if I buy now, I don't have the chance for a break-even trade. Right? That's it. If I buy now, I will not get the chance for a break-even trade. Okay, keep the questions for afterwards. We'll deal with them, right? We'll come and deal with them. So watch this. I think if this breaks at any point, it's a sell. But if they're going to crawl up back, you can look for buying setups. It's not a must that this will go back up. It could, but it doesn't have to, right? This could be all your correction. But if you know anything about corrections, they might still make three-wave pattern. So you still have to be aware that that is a possibility within the structure. Let me show you the structure, the bigger time frame, and so you can understand why we do that. See this breakout here? I think all of you may see it. See that breakout there? That went up back. We made an assumption that is going to go back because we looked at this structure and we said we know that structure. This should go back up. Right? Same here. This could come back here and then come down. You see, all made 1, 2, 3 structures. 1, 2, 3 go back up. Made a 1, 2, 3 come down. They're probably going to make a 1, 2, 3 here, then go. So you watch for that, and there's a possibility that that one will happen. If it doesn't happen, you will be in the sell because there's a sell set up here. Right? Swiss, definitely upside. I can already tell you where you should buy. Wait for this break and buy. Make sure you have a good strategy to do that, or you understand the structure. That is going to be a buy to the upside. I'll put it in the breakout. Right? Remember we said Swiss should go back. This one, we thought this one was going to go, and then they made this. We thought that, and then they pulled back deep. So watch for this trade up here now. And then we'll see. Is this coming down? I am not interested in the sell. I'm interested in that buy. So if it comes down, no big deal. I don't have a sell set up. I'm not in the sell. Right? Thank you, Vic. Silver, up, move your stops. If you're in the buy, my traders are, if you're in the buy, move your stops, put your stop wherever you're comfortable because this is either going to take off or reverse back. When they break the trend line, two things can happen right now. It is going, don't get out of the trade. Move your stop to where you're comfortable, maybe somewhere here. Because this could take off or they could do that. Right now, At this level, any out of those two are possible, right? Based on what happened now that it broke that structure. I'm hoping for a takeoff, right? If that takes off, it will be great. A lot of you will make a lot of money because some of you should have trades on, right? Same with gold. I think gold will tag the top here. Let me put it in the daily so you can see. By the way, if you're in the gold trade, move your stop. Same thing, move your stop, because gold could do this. When they break this stop, you'll be very careful. Start moving your money deep into profit with a very tight stop if and when they break that top. Because when they break that top, they can start the down move again. That would complete a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. If they break the top. If they don't break the top, they will take you out while they're going down, right? I hope they go break the top and then come down. That will complete the structure and we will start to look for sells. But move your stop very tight, because at any point, this thing could start to fall. As a matter of fact, it's starting to look like a sell setup there already on the 1 hour. See that? This is starting to look like a flag here. So you may want to move your stop from here to maybe in the higher point. If they fall through there, you can get a sell setup here if you want, or you can, at least you'll get out for profit. So especially for my traders, yes, look for that. That's a very short-term sell setup, but it could turn out to be a long one because of the bigger picture that we have. Right? Euro Oz looks like it's going to go down some more. If this goes up, it's going to be one more buy, and that's it. It's going to still give you downside. If they break this and you take the buy, be careful. Watch it when they break that top. We could start to get some downside, but I hope they go down first. So you're looking for a buy or a sell setup where it is, and it's easy to get it. If they break out of here, wait for a pullback, then buy. If they break here, just sell. Right? If they break, you get a sell setup. It looks more downside. To me, it looks more downside, so we're looking for a break to the downside. Euro New Zealand, this has a very, very good sell setup. They did break that structure we're looking at. They make an impulse, and they're making some consolidation here. I could see them doing that. If they break this, sell. Don't sell before they break that structure, because if you do, they can do this, and your stop will be taken out, right? Now, do I want the buy setup in this? No, not interested in the buy setup, but I'm definitely interested in the sell setup because of the structure and where it is and how it's behaving right now. I'm not interested in that, but I'm interested in the sell. First, the sell will come to this trend, and then we will decide whether it's going to break out or it's one more upside. I think it's going to break out of the trend, right? That's the prediction we are making. Let's see how it does. We are looking for a sell, and if we get the sell setup, we'll take it. Euro yen, it's making that pullback. There was a sell setup here. There was a sell setup here. This one now is pulling back. So you got to, if they do this, we will look for a sell setup again, right? We'll look for one more sell setup there. I don't see them going back up very much. If they make an upside, they'll break this top once. You will look for buys only above that top, and then they'll go down. It's a big move to the downside when it starts to go. You want to look for the downside in this, because potentially there's a big move back to this level, right? Goes up, come down, goes up, come down. So you will be looking for this trade. If they go up from here, you can take that trade, but you'll have to put that to break even very fast, which means if they break this structure here, I would not be buying until they break this structure. Look for a buy somewhere here, and when they get above that, I'll put that to break even. See how far they go, right? We don't know how far that will go. EuroCAD, everybody keep your questions to the end. I'll answer them, right? EuroCAD broke the top, start to go down, and they broke here. So this would be easy for you. Just allow it to consolidate a while. They like to make long consolidations. And when they make that consolidation, we'll look for one more drop to break the low, right? Until then, there's nothing to do there. If they're going to go back up, we don't have a buy setup, right? They could go back up, but you don't have a buy setup. And once they break the trend, we're looking for a sell setup. There is one pattern that says this will go back up, and that pattern is an expanding flat. We're not looking at that as yet. Eurochief, definitely downside, right? This one is definitely downside. If you're in the sell already, right? If you're in the sell already, this doesn't look very aggressive to the downside. So if you're in the sell already and you can put the break even, do that. If you can't put it to break even, keep a very tight stop above here and you'll move that stop down, because there's a good chance that this piece goes back up, tag the top, and then come down. You see, we didn't tag the top there, right? So they can go tag that top, that is this top, and then come down. For the sell, if you want to sell it now, I think you probably wait for a flag. Wait for a flag. They normally make flag like this. They make flag like that. So wait for them to make a flag like that here. And if they do, you'll get a perfect sell. But try to get in the sell. If you can't get in the sell with a flag, put an entry order, because you want this sell setup. This is a good sell setup when it goes. Right? Very nice sell setup to this low and probably even lower. Euro pound, we're looking for the sell setup, right? They did pull back deep. That is okay. Euro pound does pull back deep a lot. So we've got some divergence there. We have a crossover. Let's see what happens here now, right? I don't think it's going back up. I think we might see some consolidations here, and we might get a downside, right? So if they start to consolidate here, a bigger consolidation than that, right? We would look for a sell setup. Is it a buy right now? I don't think so, because we broke that trend and we have a deeper correction to make. So I would expect a deeper correction like this at least, which means if they do this, they're going to come here and then they can go back up. So there's a sell setup we're looking for. Why we would take the sell? Because it was a possibility of this breaking. Right? If they break this, they will come back to retest the low. If they go back up one more, we'll have enough pips there to move it in the profit, get out of the trade, and look for the buy. So what we want now is a consolidation in Europe, just a bigger consolidation, probably do something like this. And this would give us a nice sell setup, right? I don't see it as yet there. Let's wait and see. Pound Oz, you're looking for a sell. This could go back up some more. Don't ignore the buy. We wouldn't buy until they break the top, but we're looking for that sell, right? This structure has to change before I go for a buy. It's a nice sell setup, at least one more impulse down. Pound New Zealand, you'll take your profit. You wouldn't keep it long. Pound New Zealand, we're looking for the sell. It did break. It was going very good. They're pulling back, which means this has the potential of making one more upside, right? One more upside doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go very far. It means they may break the top, give you more divergence, and start to go down. The bigger picture in this, right? You can take that buy, but you will put that to break even, because the bigger picture in this is starting to look like they might want to come back at this level. See? You've got a 1, 2, 3, and it looks like they're going to come back, right? So you may want to be careful. This is an impulse. That is a flat. It looks very much downside. We're trying to find the best entry point here. So some of us are in the entry, and if we're in the entry, we'll watch it. We'll manage this trade. If they start to break here, pull back like this, we'll exit the trade, right? So on a 1 hour, if you're in that trade, you can move your stop, or your stop should be somewhere here. Wait if they start to break that and pull back like this. Take off the trade and look for another setup, right? So right now, if you want to buy, those who were interested in the buy, it's short term. I'm not interested in the buy. I'm waiting for the bigger sell. So let's see what happens. And, it'll come back to what I say. What if they go up 200 pips? Well, not my problem. I don't care. I'm not interested in the buy. I made that very clear. I'm wrong about the forecast, but then I'm not in the trade, right? So it doesn't bother me that, you said you're looking for a sell, but it went up. So, right? What I saw in the structure is telling me that this structure here, and I've seen this many times, tell me this thing should go down. See? Because if you would remember clearly, when it was here, we were looking for a buy, and you had a very similar structure here. Right? If all of you remember clearly, when they were doing this, we were looking for that. And they did spend a long time in here. When they're doing this, we're looking for this. Can this go up a little more and then do that? Sure. But I'm not interested in that little more, because that little more will get me in trouble. I'm interested in, if they start to do this, I want that trade. That is how we trade. That's how we do it, right? If they do this, let me show you that another thing. When we see this structure, and this structure is telling us it's a buy, we look for a buy. I don't care that they will go down some more, go down some more, go down some more. There was only one way we were looking for that. possible up move. So you're looking for a buy. That's it. When they got to the top there, we started to look for the sell. This was a sell setup. This was a sell setup. This here is giving you a sell setup right now. But this sell setup is very short term. If you get this sell would only drop to about this level, and you will have to take profit, because after that, they can go back up. Can this break out here? Sure. I'm not in the sell. I will wait to see if this structure changes into one more move up. And I don't see that in this structure. We saw that very clearly in this structure here. It's not in this structure. This is not showing us that. But if at any point that changes, right, we're looking at that possibility. If at any point that changes, we would tell you when we see a buy setup, and then we would look for a buy. You see, you don't chase the candles in the direction it's going. Because it's going up, you have to buy, and it's coming down, you're selling. You have to look at the bigger picture. What is the biggest structure telling you? What type of structure you're looking for? Why did I think that thing was going to go up? Well, it depends on what structure I was looking for. And to do that, you have to know the structure. You have to know how the bigger structures will develop. Can you be wrong about it sometimes? Sure, you're making forecasts, and like all forecasts, you'll get it wrong sometimes, right? But that's okay. It's not your problem. You're not in the trade. If you're looking for a sell and it goes up, you should not be in the trade. If you're looking for a buy and it's going down, you should not be in the trade. Right? You wait until you get the setup you're looking for. And when that happens, congratulations, you're in an amazing trade and you make money. Right? It's not about catching all of them or, picking every candle that moves. It's about understanding the market, getting your strategy, and stick to that. Right? But you have to understand the market. I want all of you to, if you haven't seen the webinar I did yesterday, go back, look at it. Because the key to doing this is first getting the knowledge. That is the key to it. It's not about, it's just going up and down. You have to learn this stuff. It's not that easy as it looks. Peng Yen, kind of a short-term sell maybe here. As Peng Yen is one of the most, this one was easy for us, right? You remember that one? That one was easy for us. This one wasn't hard. We traded that. This one wasn't hard. We traded that. Well, right now it's in trouble because this is an incomplete structure. This whole piece is an incomplete structure, and that entire piece is an incomplete structure. What that means, the weekly, the monthly, the daily, the 240 structures are all incomplete. And when all the structures that line up are incomplete, you better wait for one complete structure in a lower time frame. So we go to the 60 minutes first, see if we have a complete structure. And no, we don't. Because this is not telling us very much. If you look at this pattern, you can do this. And this is telling you you can go back up. But we are breaking this channel, and that says you can go down. Right? Which one is the pattern it's making? Right now, it's not clear. They're all incomplete, so we wait. You wait on this one, and then when you get the right setup, either for a buy or a sell, you take it. I'm a little biased to the upside, so I'll wait. When they break this top, if and when they break that top, I would look for a buy setup. If this is coming down, I still don't see the sell. It's not there as yet. It's not even a flag to sell. So stay out of it. Punkat, look for a sell setup. Remember, all the cats could go up. If this comes down here, look for a sell setup. This is making more like a flag, right? If they come very sharp, they'll have to make a flag here, and then we'd look for a buy. I don't see that happening because we haven't broken this low, but it's possible for a 1, 2, 3. Something like this, and then come back down. So, but you don't have a buy setup. Don't try to buy it where it is. That's a bad idea. Peng Chief, we broke. Good. Let them make a flag. They're probably doing that right now. They'll make consolidations, and when they make that consolidation, look for that trade down. Aussie Yen, you definitely want to look for a sell in this one, right? It's not because of this structure, it's because of this structure. See what we say? When we see structures like this, we're thinking sell. And this could make you a lot of money. Now, do we have a setup for a sell right now? I think exactly right now you don't have a setup for a sell. It would be risky to click it right here, wait for some more, get that set up, get a flag, get something that based on your strategy tells you can sell, and look for that sell. It's a very good sell setup. CAD Yen, wait for it to break, and you'll probably get a sell setup here too. We're waiting for this to break, confirm the break with a pullback, and then look for the sell. You'll probably be selling it right here, but wait for that pullback first. Swiss yen, stay out of this. New Zealand yen, you're getting some more downside, but it's short term. Ignore this one because you can sell this here, but this is all it might go. Now, can it go lower? Possible. They have to break this structure, and then I'll come back to it and say, okay, if you pull back like this, now I'll sell. I'm not selling when I see a structure like that. And there are many reasons for me not to do that. I have enough experience to know you should not sell there. Right? You know, you thought about whether you're going to be right or wrong of them breaking the structure. You should not sell when you see a structure like that at that point. Let the market prove that it's going to break through that structure and it's not making the structure you see. Right? Because what I see is telling me it could bounce off of that level. They could come somewhere like this and turn and go back up. And if they do that, I'll be looking for a buy. Right? Let's see. Aussie, New Zealand, this was one we got wrong. Well, not that I got it wrong in the direction it's going to go, but I got the entire structure wrong. And I can explain what happened. So we got an impulse. We waited for this 1, 2, 3, and we started buying, and then it never go anywhere. Come back. We bought again. It never go anywhere. Come back. And some of my traders buy. I stopped buying. I said, well, if they made 1, 2, 3 here, we would expect them to tag the low and then go back up. And they never tagged the low. They actually just kept going and broke the top. So this is one complete structure. But guess what happened now? This becomes a bigger corrective structure that I wasn't even thinking is going to happen here. And if I'm correct about that, what will happen is they will have to give us 1, 2, 3 to the bottom and then go back up. So the impulse to the upside is not there, right? There isn't an impulse to the upside. So what you're going to look for, you got 1, 2, 3 down, you got a 5-wave structure here, and we're looking for 1, 2, 3. That becomes a bigger corrective structure in there, right? So since this is a bigger corrective structure in here, it is not an impulse. This was your impulse. What they did is make 1, 2. How far can this go? It can go all the way to the top. And then this thing should go back down as a 1, 2, 3. Back to this level. So we'll probably be trading something like this for the next year. And then we will probably still see that up move. You know how long these things could consolidate? Take Punkcat. I think I've shown Punkcat to all of you, right? Punkcat did this consolidation with an impulse about this size, did consolidation like this, I think for 4 years. And then it took off like a rocket. So that you can learn something, I'll show all of you that one. See this? You got an impulse. They made a 1, 2, 3 down. They made a 1, 2, 3 up. They made another one down, another 1, 2, 3 up, another 1, 2, 3 down, another 1, 2, 3 up, and then another one down. Look at that. So if you were asking me to make forecasts on this thing, let's say when it made that impulse, I would say to you, hey, wait for 1, 2, 3 down and buy. And then when this happened, I'll say, okay, 1, 2, 3 down, buy. And when that happened, I'll probably say 1, 2, 3 down, buy. Right? And when they made 1, 2, 3 up here and they made that, the same thing we said, look for a buy. Because you cannot forecast, you wouldn't forecast a correction as complex as this. Not that it wouldn't happen, but when you make forecasts, you don't make forecasts for a very complex structure. You make forecasts for the simplest structure you can get. Now, if you had bought here, you'd get break even. If you had bought here, you'd make some profit. If you had bought here, a break even. If you had bought here, when you buy this one, you get a good trade. But that's 4 years. So you probably wouldn't be trading it for 4 years, which is what we are doing with the Aussie New Zealand right now, right? Let's go back to the Aussie New Zealand. This is not even 4 years as yet. I think this is a couple of years, but not 4. This was when? 15 to 17, 2 years. Maybe 2 plus. So they'll probably give us the next year or so down here, and then we'll start to look for that big impulse. And if the longer they consolidate to the bottom here, as you can see on the Punkcat, that impulse could go really, really far, right? It's like they're actually building up, momentum here to go, right? And when they release it, that thing is going to take off. So watch it. We'll trade the downside. We traded this up. We traded it down. We'll trade the downside, right? And then we'll see. Aussie, New Zealand, and the 1 hour, probably you get some short-term buys. Some of our traders are doing that. You'll get some short-term buys more to the top, and then we look for sell. So you can get this crawling up some more here, and then I'll be interested in the sell. The buy to me is already gone, so I'll be interested in the sell, right? Let's go. Aussie, Swiss, probably stay out of this. Nothing much to word here. It's just making a lot of noise in here. Let's wait and see. It might be doing this. Let's see. If they do that, you'll have to wait for a flag here and then sell it back to the low, right? Aussie CAD, wait for them to correct and then sell. Nothing much there. New Zealand CAD, same thing, wait for them to pull back and sell. This was a good sell for those who took it, right? If you wait for this to pull back, you can get another sell set up. Let's see, New Zealand, Swiss, same thing, stay out of this, nothing there. US oil, they broke out finally, and we were expecting that breakout. This morning, we were thinking it could also look downside, right? So you had to add an entry order. This thing could go retest the stop. We can see that happening. So if you're trading it, you just got to be careful because we're in a big consolidation that keeps changing that structure as it goes, right? So if you do, you take it very short time. You see, wait for this to break out of this, put an entry order at the top here. And if they go, you're in a good trade, right? That structure keeps changing as it goes along. New Zealand, natural gas. Natural gas, if you're in the trade, my traders, they should put it to break even now, and either it's going to go or they're going to drop here. The sell setup is not a great one. We'll wait for the sell setup, but if they go, if they take off now, would be a good trade. We're anticipating them to come back to the top there, but if you're in the trade, you want to at least keep a very tight stop. If they take you out, you can always get back into the trade. So you take a break-even trade and get right back in, right? So copper, it's going up. Start looking for a sell setup. The up move is dying out, so we might get a sell setup very soon. Nifty, you're probably looking for a sell setup as well. Remember, we said watch this. They start to consolidate in this zone here. If they start to do that, it's going to be a drop. And this drop could be very sudden. So if you're trading this, you should know how to do that, right? Keep your eyes on how you're going to trade this. DAX actually is starting to look like there is going to be one more move up because this looks more like a consolidation. Let me just bring this up on the daily. You could actually see that very clearly. They didn't make a very sharp impulse down, so they made one pullback, made that pullback, made this pullback. I could see one more up here. If you're putting for a sell, wait for them to break out of that structure. You can put an entry order if they break, right? But this possibility is there. And it's very strong that they can make that one more up and then come down, right? So if you get the buy, you can take it. I would allow them to break out, consolidate, and then go, right? If it's going to drop, all you need is an entry order here. When they drop, you're in, right? You don't have to, for the, you say Modi has to do for the Nifty. I don't know. It doesn't depend on him, I think. So what we think about S&P 500, I think they're going to come down some more. I think we're going to probably see another 1, 2, 3 here, and then the upside. They're probably making a very big consolidation here. See, they made 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 up. I could see 1, 2, 3 down here, and then up, right? That possibility exists. So if you get a sell setup here, why not take the trade, right? If they consolidate here like this and decide to drop, take that trade for a short term, take your profit and get out, wait and see, right? That depends on, in terms of pending order, or depends on where I am in the time, right? I know, depends on where I am and how I'm trading that currency. I may put a pending order, I may put a stop order, I may take it live. Right? I don't have like a fixed way to trade any one of this, right? So if I see a very nice setup, then let's say, for example, the Euro New Zealand, right? Let me just finish and we'll come back to that question. Keep the question to the end. It's easier to do that, right? So everything else, probably I don't see anything that is interesting. Let's put this one because I think some people were looking at this. And this chart was prepared way back, if you remember. I said, watch this structure. One more up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more up, and they're going to come down. If you were following me, you would know you should have sold it when it went to the top there, because you're looking for a downside. See that? Nothing magical, right? This is not like magic. You just know what they're going to do, right? Because why? Because that's how these structures behave. Why the structures behave that way? You see, this structure is formed because traders who trade this whatever you call it, right? This crypto traders who trade this, they're already starting to behave a certain way. They're starting to either exit orders or something like that, right? They're starting to do certain things that create a pattern. And when they do that, we can see what they're doing, right? It's like somebody doing something and you're watching them and you understand what they're going to do next, right? You know what they're going to do next. They're preparing for something. So we saw it. We read into it and we said, oh, we know what you're preparing for. You're preparing to drop us. And what they did is they push it up first. See that? We focus this move up, this move down, that one up, and then this down. See? It's not one move you're focusing. You're understanding what the whole structure is like and how that structure behaves. And then you watch it happen, right? I don't trade these stuff, right? But if you do, this one was magic too. You got a wonderful trade up here. Nice. Take that buy there. You were supposed to buy right here. Take it up there. Take profit. What they're doing right now, they're making a bigger correction. You see this? I think this one might even retest the low and then go back up. I would not be surprised if that. So where you're going to buy this, and you should only look for buys on this one, where you're going to buy it, if they retest that low, put orders to buy here immediately. Put your orders to buy now and hope that they accept it. If they don't do that and they just break this low and start to go back up, you can buy when they break this structure here, because they're going to do a spike like that and take your profit because they're going to come back down again, right? They're just spiking it slowly. Eventually, this thing, if you're very long-term in it, hold the trade, right? If you want to be long-term in this, like a year or 2 years from now, hold this thing. Buy as much as you can buy at 15 and hold it. Because they're going to do all this push up, come back here, push up, and then they're going to do something like that, right? This one has nowhere to collapse. This one is collapsed already. It's 15 cents. There is nowhere for this to collapse. This is already collapsed. This could only go one direction. That is up, right? You don't want to get into Bitcoin because Bitcoin can go down. This thing can go down, and it will go down, right? There's no question of whether it's going to go down. It will go down, right? Because everything that goes up comes down. I think I have this one too. Let me see. Yep. Watch that break there. That's a good sell setup. I don't know if anybody's selling. You can watch with this. If this makes a flag here, sell it. Right? If they make a flag, they'll come back to retest that low. So if they make any flag, sell. Right? So basically, that's what you do, right? You know how to do this. If you're trading this, you should know how to trade it. 1 hour in Bitcoin, I don't trade it, so I don't know what the 1 hour is saying. Nothing much. If it goes back up, it's good. If they break this, you get one more spike. Take your profit. If this makes one more spike up here, take the trade, take profit once they break the top. Get the hell out of it. Don't keep it. When they're so high in cost, don't keep them because you'll get yourself in trouble. You caught some sell. Great. We have traders who trade these, in our group. Some traders only trade these in our group, right? We have a whole channel for that specifically on Slack, where traders only talk about this thing. I am not in that group. I am not in that sell and buy business, but they're doing well, right? That's okay. I don't have a problem with you buying and selling it. I have a problem with you buying this one and holding it. If you buy the one that is at 15 cents and hold it, I have no problem. You can get rich. If you're buying something that is $5,000 worth and you're holding it, you can get poor very fast, right? You're a new trader. You want to learn how to read waves. If I teach people, of course. So if you're following me on any of my YouTube channel, you should know that. If you're following me on Facebook, you should know that. But since you're absolutely new, if you're absolutely new in trading, you probably have to wait a year before you can join our group, right? If you're in trading but you're new to coming here and you have a year experience, you can join the group. And it's not because we're trying to not to take new traders, but the way we do the way our course is structured, if you're new, you wouldn't understand much. You're going to just waste your time there. You need to get that 1 year experience. And I don't advise anybody to take any course. Look at the webinar I did yesterday. It's going to help you a lot, right? Don't take any course if you're just new to Forex. Spend a whole year learning this stuff. It's not going to be that fast. Spend a year and, getting as much free stuff as you can. Listen at everything that you can get to listen to, and you'll be able to make a decision at the end of the year, right? What is the Slack channels of my trader? If you can know, no, you can't know that. It's for my traders only. That is why you can't know it. It's actually for traders who take the course only. Yep. I think I answered that question already in terms of pending orders, instant orders, or what. I answered that question already. Cat Chief View, I don't think Cat Chief is doing anything, so you probably don't want to waste your time on it. It's not doing much. It's bouncing around in here. Leave it for a while, right? Because it looks more downside right now if you look at that. If you look at this structure, see that? It does look downside, but it's not ready for the downside. So you have to wait for a flag in there, consolidation, pullback, or something like that. So I think you stay out of it for a while. But yes, looks downside. Waves ratio? No, there's nothing like waves ratio. That is people who read the Elliott Wave book and they want to just retell it to you because they haven't done enough work in it and they have little idea of what wave analysis are. Those ratios are irrelevant. I've done enough studies to tell you they're irrelevant. Don't follow the structure, ignore the ratios, right? So we're not going to go do all of them, too many of them for you guys to do, right? So if we go through all of them, it will probably take too long, but general questions like that I can take. So once more, let me thank you for coming. And please remember to help click your share. Anytime you watch those videos, click share, please. Send it around to a friend and, they'll say thank you for that. You can also share this link. Don't forget to share the link for the webinar because that some people are coming in for the first time. So do that. Keep following us. And I would see all of you. Trade with care. Make sure you make money this week, right? Especially the 30%. We want you to make money. And I'll see all of you next week. Right? Take care. Trade with care. Thanks and bye-bye.